What if you had 10 sales calls lined up on your calendar every single day as you woke up inside of your agency? They're ready to take and ready to close. Well, inside this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how I've leveraged paid ads inside of my own agency, where I do a little bit over $2.5 million a year, leveraging the exact strategies that I'm going to be showing you inside of this video. And I'm going to specifically go over the basic setup on every single ad that I'm currently seeing working well today, to live metrics inside of my own active campaigns, all the way to the advanced strategies that I currently see nobody talking about online, that I've had to spend tens of thousands of dollars on coaches and consultants to teach me how to do this stuff. So even if you've never ran paid ads once in your life, you're going to learn in this video the basic setup on how I would start doing this over today, what I'm seeing working well, and how you can actually set this up to book those first initial few sales calls where you can hopefully close your first client. So that being said, let's jump into the video and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, guys. So I've made this entire document here, pretty much compiling everything I've learned. Mainly in the past, I would say like 3 years of running the advertising agency / AI agency business model. Ever since I was 16 all the way to today, I've learned a lot about advertising, and I want this video to serve as this kind of masterclass for paid ads, specifically for booking sales calls in your own agency. Okay, I took this screenshot just from our GoHighLevel account. These are all the sales calls in our agency just in 1 week inside of March. We book well over 5 sales calls per day. Like we're probably right now, I probably book about 8 to 10 plus sales calls per day. And in this video specifically, I'm going to be talking about exactly how to do that, beginner side of things and advanced. So I've kind of made 2 whole sections here for beginner and advanced. And I'll start with the beginner first on like if you've never ran ads before, how you should be setting these up so then you could be booking consistent sales calls in your agency, all the way to advanced if you're scaling to 100, 200, 300, 500, thousands of dollars a day. Kind of where I'm at in my agency, because I spend usually anywhere from $1.5 to $2,000 a day, which is right around 45 to 60K a month on ads alone, just to book sales calls. Okay. And obviously my agency does well over 6 figures every single month. So let's jump into it. So first thing is the beginner side of things. Let's talk about what you actually need to do if you want to start booking sales calls, just basic, right? And the whole reason this is important, and the reason I'm making this video, is because I think a lot of people give bad information online on how you should book sales calls, and you should sit around and do outreach and cold calling all day, and that's how you should book sales calls. Obviously, that is the most inefficient way to scale. No agency, big agency at least, that's making 10, 20, 30. I mean, there's lots of agencies making 10K a month that just do cold calling, but if you want to scale to 30, 50, 100K plus a month, that's going to be mainly through probably running some sort of predictable acquisition system, which is paid ads. Okay. So let's start with the basics on just what you need to do. So basic needs is the first thing is you're going to have to create a Facebook business / personal account. And then we need to make an ad account and a page. So first thing is, make a Facebook personal account. Okay. So this is just like a personal one that you'd log into. Maybe you add some friends or family on. You need that. That's the foundation of your sort of business and whatever, your business manager inside of Facebook. Then you have to create what's called a business portfolio. Okay. So if you just look up on an empty Google tab, create business portfolio, it'll allow you to create one. And essentially once you've logged in, I'm going to have to blur a lot of things here, but it's going to shoot you to a page directly like this. Now, this is my business portfolio. Obviously, I have a lot of team members in here just because I have a fairly decent team. And I have different business portfolios for separated from myself, and then also for all of my clients. I keep all my clients in a separate business portfolio under a different email of mine. Okay. Don't get confused here. If you're just at the stage where you are just trying to pretty much just get your own ads up and book your own sales calls and you have no clients, then all you need is your own business portfolio. And this is what the business settings look like. Okay. So if you can't find this page, you can probably look it up out there to just get here. This is very, very standard. But what you should see here is business info, users, accounts, data sources, requests, etc. Right? So first thing is go up into business info and fill out all sort of information you can for either your business / yourself. If you don't have an LLC or business, whatever, just throw in your own info. The whole point is you want to gain trust with Facebook. Okay. There is loads of nightmares out there of people getting banned for like false bans essentially. And it's happened to me a ton. Okay. I'm on an alt account as I'm speaking right here because my main account is currently getting unbanned. I have connections to people who can unban it. But that being said, most people don't. Okay. So just first thing is once you're in here, I recommend you invite people in the top right here, and you give someone else who is a family member or another account of yours full control as a backup admin, because it is very, very common to get banned. Okay. And then the next thing we need to do is create an ad account and a page. So what you do right here is go to pages right here. Again, I'm gonna have to blur some stuff here. In the top right, you're gonna see an empty little kind of like blue button / ad, and you're gonna create Facebook page. Okay. Now this page name you want to name to your business. So let's just say this is just testing, whatever, right? Whatever your business name is. Category can just be like media or marketing agency. So media agency, cool. Next, boom, confirm, I agree. Great, create page, okay? That's the first thing you're gonna do there. I'm of course just not gonna do it for this sake, but make sure you make your own business page and then you assign it to yourself. So click assign people like so. Click on yourself, let's just say this is you, and then scroll all the way down to where it says everything and then click assign, okay? So then you have access to whatever's needed, okay? And then I don't think you need to really connect anything else from there. Yep, you're all good. Cool. Now, the next thing is going to be creating what's called an ad account, okay? So ad account is very, very easy to do. Click here on the left where it says ad accounts. Boom, click create a new ad account right here. Ad account name, you can just call it your business name or just like ad account number one, cool. Click next, boom, click for my business, click next, and then agree, and then create ad account like so, okay? And then it might ask you for a payment method as well. Make sure you just add a payment method and then you're all good to go. And then same thing like here, make sure you assign people and then assign it to yourself and then go down full control, manage access, cool. Once that is done, I want to quickly jump into the actual ads manager because this is really all the kind of the basics you need to do from the foundational state. So let me quickly just log up. I'll just go right into this like backup ad account right here. Boom. I don't think I've ever used this one before. Yeah, I have not. And I will show you guys kind of what it looks like. This is probably what your account looks like right now, assuming you have no data in here and you've never ran ads before. So let me give you a quick rundown because this probably looks like a spaceship. And to be very clear, if you don't already understand this, we are going to run ads on our own behalf for our own agency to book our own sales calls, okay? So just as you see all these sales calls here, I did not cold email people for these calls. I did not cold call people for these calls. I spent my own dollars, okay, to give to Facebook to go find people in my niche to go be like, hey, I like this ad. I want an extra 10 jobs a month or 100 patients, whatever. Let me click learn more. And then they opt into my ad and they go through my entire process. And I'm going to be walking you through the entire thing in this video. But the whole point is, and this is why I'm so much more bullish on paid ads, is because this is where you trade your money for time. Or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe I'm just botching it. But like essentially you give Facebook money so then you can book appointments essentially while you're sleeping. Assuming the setup is done correctly. All right. So the ads manager is where all of this is going to live. Okay. And there's three big kind of buckets and I guess overarching umbrellas you need to look at. Number one, there's campaigns. Okay. And this is going to become extremely relevant information if you also service your clients for ads as well. Because this video essentially goes hand in hand for client fulfillment and your own ads because it's the same thing essentially. It's the same setup. So there's three different buckets. There's campaigns, there's ad sets, and there's ads. Campaigns is the overarching essentially umbrella that holds ad sets and then ads, right? So there's ads that live under ad sets and there's ad sets that live under a campaign, okay? The big difference between campaign, I'm going to go through how to create one, but the big difference in a campaign is this is essentially where you're just making, I can show you right here, what is your objective? All right, do you want awareness? Do you want just traffic to a page? Do you want engagement? Do you want leads, app promotion sales if you're like an e-commerce store, whatever? In an agency that you want to book sales calls in your calendar, you want the leads conversion. You don't want anything else, all right? I see a lot of people talk about like other objectives here that they just burn all their money because it's not actually what Facebook is intending to do, which is book more qualified leads and calls, okay? Ad sets is where you're going to, and I'm going to walk you through this, but essentially this is where you're going to set probably your budget, your targeting, what age of people do you want to hit? What country are you trying to target people in? Where do you want to reach people? Is it on their iPhone, on like mobile, Instagram? Is it on Facebook? Where do you want to target people? And then the ads, obviously in itself, this is pretty self-explanatory. This is ads, okay? So that's kind of like the simple rule there. All right, so let's start with making a campaign. So I'm going to go through kind of my ideal setup, and then I'm going to go through obviously what CBO is and ABO, which is a term you're going to want to understand. So when we click create, we're going to click on the leads option and we're going to click continue. What this is going to do is it's going to create a campaign, one ad set, and then one ad. So they all kind of live under each other as you see. And we can just call this campaign number one, just for simplicity's sake. Boom. And then the first thing we're going to be hit with, you don't really have to change anything here. This is all good. The first thing we're going to look at is this is what this term means. So if you ever hear people online, marketers talk about CBO versus ABO, this is just campaign budget optimization versus ad set budget optimization. So the biggest difference between both is, do we want to set our daily budget in the campaign level, or the ad set level. Now, people have different theories on which better, and what is the better way to set your budget. It does the same thing essentially. Like if you have your budget is $50 a day here, and then you have one ad set, but you have this, right here, which is ABO, which is on. Pretty much all it means is you can just control your your spending on how much you want to spend per day in the ad set level. And of course, there can be as many ad sets as you want under a campaign. So a campaign, if you have it this set like this, and it's $20 a day, all of the ad sets you make under here, they will all combined spend $20 a day total. It won't spend more than that, okay? Even if you have 20 ad sets, it's only going to spend, all 20 will spend no more than 20 a day total, okay? Not each, total. So when you switch it like this on the ad set budget optimization, you can control the budget inside of the ad sets whenever you'd like. And the reason I like it like this setup, and this is what I have it set up in my agency, is because this is just, in my opinion, a lot better. Because as you scale campaigns, which means you spend more or you just kind of kill campaigns and you want to test more, I think this option is a lot easier because then everything can kind of live under one campaign. You don't have to go make a bunch, all right? I know there's some complete nerd marketing talk, but if you want to just follow what I'm doing here, just click this. Now, Facebook's going to give you a lot of options, and I'm going to kind of hopefully steer you away from the bad ones in this video. But where it says share some of your budget with other ad sets, turn this off, right? What's the point of this? Why do we want Facebook to go dictate where our spend is when that should be in our control? Like, we don't want Facebook to do things that is not in our control as much as possible. So click on this, turn this box off, and that's pretty much the entire campaign setup, all right? Now, that's the biggest difference between CBO and ABO. I prefer ABO, which is, again, having the ads. You're going to see, I'm going to set the budget inside the ad set in just a moment, okay? Now, let's go through the ad setup settings, okay, and what I recommend. So my daily budget recommendations, to be very clear with you guys, your budget is going to need to depend when you run ads for your own agency based on your niche, your experience, your marketing, your offer. There's a lot of factors. I can't sit here on this video and tell you guys, look, if you just spend $20 a day, with this offer in this niche, you're guaranteed to get appointments. It's not the case, guys. Like running ads, all these calls could technically not close, okay? Like there's a good chance, or I don't want to say there's a good chance, but there's a chance that it's unprofitable, right? We go in the red with this, and that's any marketer with any advertising. Nothing's guaranteed. So when you create your budget on how much you want to spend per day, this needs to be a gambling budget you're willing to lose, all right? And this is what no one else online, no other marketers, there are marketers that'll tell you this, but you need to be willing to lose this amount of money, okay? And my recommendations is if you're starting out in an agency, specifically an AI agency offering ads and AI services like AI callers, you should set aside at least $1,500 to $2,000 USD to at least get that first client, and that first client will now pay you. Now, the game in advertising in the marketing agency game is you essentially spend $1,000 to acquire a client that pays you, let's say $3,000, so you're making a 3x return, and you use that $3,000 you got to go now fuel your next 3 clients, your next 4 clients, 5 clients, and it's like a duplication game. That's like the marketing agency game in simple. It's just like a duplication game, and that's how, that's really how I've gotten so big over the years, is just because it's all a duplication game, right? So my recommendations is spending at least $1,500 to $2,000. It could be higher, it could be lower based on your niche, like medical, specifically the niche I'm in. Like my cost per call, which I'm going to show you guys some metrics in my agency later in this video, it's high. It's $100 per call plus, okay? Every single call you see on the calendar here costs over $100. All right, so think about that. It's not cheap. But if you're in roofing or you work with real estate agents, it could be like $30, $40, whatever, right? So be willing to set aside a budget of what I said there. That is like a gambling budget, essentially, is my point. All right. Now, let's jump back in. First thing we want to do is change the conversion location to just where it says websites. Okay. Now, we're going to have to make a pixel, which I'm going to show you guys later, they call it like a data set now. I'm going to show you guys how to set this up later in this video. But it's extremely important you set this up correctly because I see people set it up wrong all the time and it completely screws them. All right. So keep maximize number of leads. This is all fine. Everything here is fine. No issues. You can always click on these show more options. It always gives things. All right. So this is what's important here. Budget and schedule. So let's call this ad set. I always like to section it off. There's 3 different types, and I put it right here. There's 3 different type of targeting setup options that you can set up for your agency and your ad accounts, okay, under your one big campaign that you're going to run. You have broad targeting, which means you let Facebook pretty much do all the targeting for you. You let them decide. You have interest, which means you make certain interests based on whatever your industry you're going after, you can give Facebook like, hey, I want to hit people who are interested in XYZ thing. And that'll hopefully give you more of like an edge, or Facebook more of an edge to know who you want to target. You can maybe get better results with this. And then third, which is called a lookalike. Okay. And I'm going to show you a little bit about this in a minute. And I'm going to tell you guys what I recommend if I were you. But let me quickly go through this here. So this is all fine. Daily budget, since we have it in ABO, which is the ad set budget optimization, we change our budget here on how much we want to spend. So for most of you guys, I recommend you guys, if you are spending over $50 a day, you can have, honestly, I'd say over $60 a day, which is $30 a day per ad set if you're running 2 ad set. I would do, if you're spending under than $60 a day, have 1 ad set. Okay, that's just broad. Okay, that's my recommendation. If you're spending over $60 a day, you can have 2 ad sets. If you're spending over $100 a day, you could have 3. Now again, it's going to be niche. I always kind of mess it up. Niche dependent on you know, how much it's going to cost to get a call or like a result. But let's just say for this case, we're spending let's say we're spending $90 a day total. That's my budget. Let's say $30 a day per ad set, and I want 3 different ad sets. So for example, at the end I'm gonna duplicate this 3 times, and we're gonna end up getting $90 a day, or duplicate it twice rather, because then we'll have 3 different ad sets. Start date, you can of course make this whatever you want. You don't really have to edit this here. Show more settings, you don't have to really change anything here. And we're just going to call this a broad ad set. All right, so broad ad set. Cool. So this means we really have to touch nothing here. Okay, our inclusion, we want to make sure we hit people in the United States, great, or whatever country, maybe it's Canada, maybe it's UK, whoever. And then for us specifically, I do change the minimum age of people that we target to 23 years old, just because I deal with high-end medical clinics. For you, honestly, it could be 18. If you don't want to deal with 18-year-olds because you don't think they have more money, then you could change it to like 23 as well. Okay, totally your preference. All right, all languages, I always kind of just keep as English. Boom. And then you really have to touch nothing here. Okay, that's pretty much it for everything, and I keep everything kind of the same like this. So that's your ad set setup. So this is an example of a broad ad set. We didn't make any targeting, we didn't do anything. We're just going to hit people. Now Facebook's algorithm is set up today to almost essentially know who you want to hit the second you launch an ad. It kind of reads everything like in like a crazy fashion where you don't even have to tell it really what to do. Like as long as you have ads that are clearly talking to the audience you want to hit, it will generally work. All right. Now, okay, let's get into the ad level of things. So now that we understand my daily budget recommendations, how I have 3 ad sets of 3 different targeting, and I'll kind of show it in today's video on what I recommend. On how I operate in my agency. For most of you guys, if you guys are just spending under $60 a day, you know, I'd say just go broad. If you guys are spending more than that, you want to split it up and test 2 different things side by side, you could have interest and broad. And then if you guys are spending like $100 a day, $90 a day plus, you can also add in a lookalike ad set as well here. So we wouldn't just have 1, but we'll have 3. Now let's jump into the ads setup. So the actual ad setup. First thing is we have to set up a landing page. Okay, we have to send our traffic somewhere, right? If you guys remember right over here, our conversion location we want to send people to is to a website. This website we want to have a calendar on where people can book a call directly with us. So then of course we can sell them. All right, that's the entire point here. You essentially are asleep. Boom, you get a text on your phone from GoHighLevel or whatever. Appointment booked. That's the goal. All right. You want just qualified people on your calendar that are interested in buying your product. Okay. And you want to do it with a healthy return. So the first thing is we need to set up a landing page and what's called a funnel. So I'm going to jump over to GoHighLevel real quick and I'll just kind of show you guys how I recommend setting this up. All right, so once you guys are in GoHighLevel, you can go down to where it says sites, like here, and I give you guys all of these funnel examples and different essentially templates that I have already pre-tested. I've put a lot of spend behind, and I've just seen them to work, and you guys can essentially just copy them. It's kind of like a gift I give to all my viewers on the YouTube channel. The way you get this is by you signing up in the description with GoHighLevel. You guys get a 30-day free trial. You can start it right here. GoHighLevel is $297 a month, but again, you guys get 30 days completely for free, and you don't have to pay anything until the 30 days are up. $297 a month, and if that sounds very expensive, you'd be spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month to just get with the tools they give you in an all-in-one platform here. And if you already have HighLevel, you can click on this button here in the description and you will get an email directly from me with what's called a snapshot that you import into your account. And essentially, you're going to get all these things I'm going to show you here. And that's kind of going to be the example. So we need to create what's called a website. So of course, or it's called a funnel. So a funnel is, imagine you are going to send people through a funnel. It's literally in the word, but like we are going to send all of our traffic from ads to a page that looks exactly like this. So of course, this is all native within GoHighLevel. If I click on the booking page and I click edit like here, you guys can do this. I've already templatized the entire page for you. So again, I've already tested things like this. It looks simple. It looks maybe even not that good, but that's literally, this has worked. Okay. And that's what's so cool about this. So once you're here and you've imported the snapshot, you can literally just change your niche based on where I say niche up here. You can change implement AI into your business to scale to X a month within X days. So it could be like, if you're going after real estate agents, 10 listings per month within X amount of days, 90 days, or you don't pay using our AI system, or you don't pay, whatever you could coin this entire page as. The entire point is we want to send traffic to a page where people can just book a call. Okay. And the way this is GoHighLevel calendar, of course, you just connect your Zoom to this, and there's a lot of other things instead of GoHighLevel that obviously need to be set up kind of on the back end with appointment reminders and all that stuff. I already give this all to you guys inside that snapshot as well. So there's very little work you need to do here. Of course, I have a 10-hour free course on my YouTube channel, which is, very, very, very in depth on all this stuff. But all this being said, because I want to keep this more of around an ads video, we want to send traffic of all the people who are interested in our service to a page where they can book with us. And this page is an example of that. So you just customize everything to your niche. So you make this real estate agents looking to scale to 10 listings plus a month, or 3 listings a month, or, roofers, med spas, whatever your niche is, right? Make this all custom to you, okay? And then you can, of course, on here on the calendar, I recommend just start off with a name, email, phone number, and then they can book a time slot. Of course, for here, there's no time slots, but you guys get the point. When you open time slots on your calendar and you connect it to GoHighLevel, it'll work. Once people book a call, they're going to get sent to what's called a pre-call page. This is extremely important. Okay, I've talked about this a lot on my channel, but a pre-call page is essentially where you are going to set the expectations of the sales call in a 3 to 5-10 minute video right here. Okay, so the point is you want to make it very clear. Hey, look, congratulations on booking your call, and I just wanted to set the tone and some expectations so you get the most out of our call before you show up to it in this quick video. So step 1, make sure you show up to our call in a quiet, present environment. All right, don't show up to the call with your baby screaming in the back, or you're in the car with bad Wi-Fi. We expect you to be showing up in a quiet environment with your desk, pen, notepad ready to take notes, because we're going to be asking you a lot of questions, okay? And we want to really see if we can help your business, and if we can, we're going to show you on our own screen share exactly how we do this for real estate agents just like yourself, okay? And then step 2, make sure you can, confirm the call on your calendar that you just got an invite for, because the last thing we want to have is a no-show, because obviously everyone that no-shows our calls, we kind of just blacklist them from the system, because out of mutual respect, I just want to make sure you're respectful of our time, just like we will be yours. Blah, 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 blah. All right, you guys make the pre-call video, just setting those expectations so they show up to the call, okay? And then you can add a screenshot right here of what it looks like on how they should actually confirm the call with the email invitation they're going to get on the calendar, just so they know what it looks like. And then what you can do here is super important, is set up bite-sized, what I call breakout videos, okay? So these are breakout videos where you essentially say, it's almost like different objections they're going to have on the sales call you want to handle before the sales call. And this is getting very much into the back-end marketing side of things, which I don't want to go too in-depth into this video. But that being said, you want to make quick 1 to 2 minute videos essentially handling each objection that they have, right? So how does the program work, and what does it do to get me more business? Or how much does this cost? Or I've been burned before, how do I know this isn't a scam? Make videos that handle these objections so they have more content to consume from you before the call. All right, that's very, very important, okay? So whole point is this is where we're gonna send all of our traffic to from our ad, okay? So let's just say I have this demo domain that I've connected to GoHighLevel here. Make this your own business domain. So if your business domain is patienceai.com or morejobsai.com or whatever it is, right? Make sure you connect that here like so. You're going to take the link of this, and then you're going to head back over to Ads Manager, and you're going to have your entire landing page ready, okay? And your entire funnel ready. Now, that's why I recommend you just import what I've given you. It's going to be a lot easier to do. But let me head back over to Ads Manager, because it's going to be pretty important to do. All right, so once we're back here, we're going to quickly go over into leads, and we are going to make sure we connect our Facebook page that we have created right here. Okay, very, very important you do this because you obviously want to be sending traffic to, or you want your business page that we just kind of was just talking about. We made right here where it says pages. The one that you made right here, you want to make sure that you connect that right here, because then this is what all your ads are going to be running off of. All right, so I'm going to quickly just make this my page right here. Cool. All right. You can also connect an Instagram page too. Not required. You don't need an Instagram page to actually advertise on Instagram. You can just do it directly through your Facebook page. I have seen some better results doing it through an Instagram page too, and connecting that here, but it is by no means a requirement. If you want to do that, you can quickly just go down here where it says Instagram accounts right here on the left. You connect yours, and then you make sure you just give yourself access with people, like I was saying, and then make sure you connect the assets where it says connected assets to your ad account. Okay. All right. Now, once we have our page connected here like so, there's some settings I go through real quick, and I'm going to show you guys. So number one, I turn off multi-advertiser ads. This is a setting where essentially if you've ever scrolled on Instagram, or I'm pretty sure it's the same on Facebook, you will see an ad, but then you'll get 3 other companies' ads right in that same like little jumbo. You want to turn that off. You don't want to be mixed in with other people because people are probably just in the mindset of scrolling through that. You want to be a single standalone ad that people get on their feed. All right. Next, where it says website, we're going to just import the URL that I just showed you guys from the funnel you guys made inside of GoHighLevel. Okay. Now we're going to scroll down, and where it says add creative, this is where we set up our creative so that we either run an image ad or a video ad. Okay, so let me quickly explain what I recommend around these. So image ads, and I'll give you guys the pros and cons to these. Image ads, I think, are better if you want more volume at a lower cost. Okay, so let me explain what that means. I'll give you guys the example of, let's say you spend $100. Okay, you're probably going to get more leads or more booked calls, more booked sales calls in your calendar for a cheaper cost. Okay, and you're probably like, well, Carson, that sounds better than anything else. Why would I want a more expensive cost? The quality on image ads are generally lower than the quality of people you're going to speak to from video ads. Is there a better and worse? I think it's situational. Okay, I run a ton of images in my agency. Almost all of the ads I run right now are exclusive image ads. So, and I spend, again, thousands of dollars a day. So for you, whatever, if your budget is lower, it's on the lower end, and you believe your budget is just lower, I recommend starting with image ads, just because you're going to get more for your dollar, right? Just simply enough. The volume hopefully negates the luck of getting this one lucky person that jumps on the sales call and gives you, their credit card, be like, yep, you can, let's buy, whatever, right? Now, video ads, if you're dealing with a quality issue, video ads are the way to go. Now, I recommend 2 different platforms to make these. There's ArcAds AI, and then there's Ideogram AI for images. And then ArcAds, of course, is for videos. And I'll quickly actually jump over and I'll kind of show you guys how this looks like, and then also making ad copy with AI as well. All right, so this is the platform called Ideogram. And essentially, it is a really, really, really good platform. I think you can sign up completely for free. When you guys use my snapshot inside of GoHighLevel, you guys get a bunch of bonuses. So when you sign up and you go to websites, once you've imported the snapshot, I give you guys something in here. I'm not going to click into it because it's going to leak everything, but there's a thing called Carson's Resources, Docs, and Links. Inside of my snapshot, I give you guys a link to use for Ideogram and ArcAds. You guys get a bunch of free credits and ads that you can use, and I give you guys like scripts and prompts and all that type of stuff. But that being said, right here is where you can essentially, if you go to like ChatGPT and you say, give me a image ad prompt for creating an ad targeting realtors about my 10 listings in 90 days offer. Okay, whatever, right? Let's just say that's like super, super simple. So I will copy what it gave me right here, this prompt. I will give it to Ideogram, and essentially it will make me 4 different variations in under about 30 seconds here on the right. You guys see it. And if I click on my images right here, as you can see right here, it will load in just 1 second. Boom. So I just made this ad in literally under 30 seconds. Okay, I didn't even think about it. I didn't do anything. Spelling errors sometimes are wrong on this. Ideogram does make spelling errors. But look at these ads it just made. All right. For all we know, this could absolutely crush, and real estate agents are going to buy from this. Like, who knows? Maybe this operates at like a 5x ROAS, which ROAS is in short for return on ad spend. Okay, so who knows? Like, that's why Ideogram, I think, is the best image ad creation tool out there, because you guys saw how quick I just made that. And you can make tons more as well. Like, let's say I want to go up here and I want to try this version. Okay, Let's see how fast it'll get me more. And Arc Ads, while this is loading, as you guys know, this is all a video ad tool software. Arc Ads is amazing. Okay, the reason Arc Ads is so good is because you can just give it a 30 to 45 second ad prompt script based on your offer and your niche. You can just have like ChatGPT or Claude AI generate for you, and you can give it to Arc Ads like here, like so. And if I go to right here, okay, new project, or maybe I have one right here. Boom. All of these were made with just going talking actors, putting your entire 30 to 45 second offer ad script, and you can choose all the actors you want to essentially say this live, all using AI. Okay. It absolutely crushes. Like you can have doctors, you can have all these different people, you know, and you can choose as many as you want, and it comes out sounding like really, really good.
Are you a real estate agent who is still struggling to get more listings in 2025? In the next 60 seconds, I am going to show you my team and I are helping over 100 agents like yourself make more money for less work. And
so this is an ad, right? Okay, I'll even show you this.
Are you a real estate agent who is still struggling to get more listings in 2025? In the next 60 seconds, I am going to show you my team and I are helping over one.
Boom. Okay, you guys get the point, right? And let's see how Arc Ads did with these. Boom, 10 listings in 9 days. Of course, I'd make some tweaks here. I'd make it more clear we're calling out real estate agents. It's not that clear on the ad. You guys get the point. You guys can do this with this tool and it takes no time, all right? So again, you guys get all this resource inside the snapshot. I think it'll be super helpful. But let me just download one of these to my computer and I'll jump back over to the ads manager and I'll show you guys the actual setup. But the last thing I want to show here as well is make sure you get ad copy. So make me a good ad copy and headline for an ad like this. Okay, this is going to be important because of course we need to have copy and a headline when we actually want to set up our ads. So boom, headline is just our offer, 10 listings in 90 days without cold calling, and this is the primary text, and that all looks good. Okay, the last thing I want to also say here too is I'll tell you what's important about image and video ads. Image ads need a very clear CTA. You have a very or call to almost like call to your ICP, which is the ideal demographic of people you want, right? The biggest flaw with an ad like this is when someone sees this, they might not immediately know you're talking to real estate agents because it doesn't say that anywhere. So if I had to change this up here in this like top left, I'd say real estate agents, get 10 listing appointments in 90 days using our AI system, or you don't pay. Boom. Have that in text, have it be a realtor on the right, or have an offer like this, right? You know, have clean this up. You can really have a bunch of styles here, but that's what's important about image ads. Video ads, the reason, I guess the way you want to structure this is there's 3 main key components when you create a script for the AI to essentially give back to you. There's hook, there's body, and there's CTA, all right? Hook should be who you're calling out. Real estate agents. Body should be the actual offer of what you're giving them, okay? So body's like, you know, like what is it that you're actually going to help them with? That's like a little bit more in depth, whatever, explaining why. You're almost like selling them on what's interesting and why they should hear, okay? And then number 3 is the CTA, which is the call to action. So at the very end of that, click learn more below if you're interested in implementing this AI system for yourself within your real estate business in the next 90 days or today, whatever, right? And that's kind of how you section them off, to be very, very clear. And so just to say again, hook, body, CTA. People get this wrong all the time. That's the format you need to go off of. And you can make them straight in here like so. All right, let me add back in the ads manager after I download an ad like this, for example, and we'll get going. All right, so as we saw right here, we got the video ads and image ads kind of section done. Now let me head right here. Boom, we're going to upload an image ad. Okay, real quick, check things, turn off site links, okay, and turn off branding. This is just like automatic Facebook stuff, which I'm going to talk about to make sure you do. I'm going to click upload and I'm going to quickly upload the actual ad. All right, boom, we've got our ad right here like so. Now let me click next in the bottom right. Make sure things actually fit, okay? So obviously the entire ad does not fit here, so make this original. Obviously this is not fitting here, so make this original, all right? Don't worry about these error messages. This looks completely perfect, all right? Next, this is where we're gonna add our primary text and our headline, so just give me 1 second as I do this. Alrighty, boom, we got that done like here. I just added exactly what I showed you guys that ChatGPT gave me. So we've got 10 listings in 90 days without cold calling. Even I would just make this like 10 listings in 90 days or you don't pay, for example. That's kind of more appealing. Turn this off. And then you want to, if you're a realtor, okay, obviously this copy I made in 1 second with ChatGPT, you could probably make this a little bit better. But instead of apply below, we want to say click learn more below. All right, because our call to action right here, we want to make learn more. So boom. Okay. I think learn more, I've just seen convert the best. Click next in the bottom right, like so. AI, they're constantly coming out with new AI changes. Honestly, not a fan. Click next. And then this is very, very important. Facebook has all these different what's called creative enhancements that I always turn off because, again, this is, if we have this on where it has like translation on text or it add overlays like here, or it shows summaries over the ad and like all these random little AI features they do to get more data on consumers. If an ad does well, now we don't know why. Okay, was it the messaging or was it Facebook's AI that made it, perform? Like, it's uncontrollable variables we don't want on. So make sure everything is turned off here. And they will, like down here, they hit this music, right? I don't want music on my ads. Click done. And then now this is what the ad actually looks like on the right. You guys can see we've made this. All right, and this is what's going to go to people. And then I will make sure everything else is good here below. Okay, optimize text per person, have disabled. And here's where they get you. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Look, they've already turned on relevant comments, even though I turned off everything. They add this, okay? They literally hide these things. So scroll all the way down where it says relevant comments, turn this off. These are all what's called like Advantage Plus optimizations. They're almost always going to negatively affect your ads. All right, so we can always preview our ad right here like so. Okay, boom, this is what it looks like. And again, you can make this a lot better. This took no more than 1 minute, but you guys get the point. So that's how you would set up your entire ad, and we'll call this ad number 1. All right, cool. So now that we have that set up, that is pretty much the entire thing there. Now let me go through, there's like a couple more things I need to go through to kind of finalize the setup, and then I'm going to get over into the advanced section, okay? And then you're going to be ready to essentially launch this and start booking sales calls. So the one thing I haven't covered that's an obvious one is setting up your Facebook pixel, which I'm going to show you how to do. And then the next thing is my rule of thumb when it comes to scaling ad creatives, okay? So my rule of thumb with Facebook's new updates. So they've came out with this update. Some of you guys may have heard it, marketers. It's called Andromeda, the Andromeda update. The Andromeda update was essentially released to combat all the AI creatives that came out, because you guys saw how quick it just made me all those AI images like in 2 seconds, or how quick I got to make those AI videos. It's crazy how fast you can make more ad creatives with AI today. So they've released this thing where they really care about the messaging and the different diversification of ads you make. So my rule of thumb, you write this down, for every $50 of spend in an ad set, okay, right? So if you have $50 you're spending right here, you have 5 ads under it, 5 different ads, okay? If you have $100 a day, you're gonna have 10 ads. If you have $150 a day, you're gonna have 15 ads, and then it keeps going up all the way up until 25 ads. I don't put more than 25 active ads inside of one ad set. All right. Now, the reason you want a lot of active ads is because, again, you want to combat this update they've come out with, and you want different diversification, and you also want to test. Okay. So if I quickly just close right here, we're going to be able to see, if we go to our campaign, we go into our ad set, and we go into our ad, we can see all the ads, and then over time we're going to be able to see how the performance is, right? Like how many results have we gotten? What's our amount spent? How many impressions? Like, we can look at everything here. And if we have 5 different ads spending all this different money, we're going to see which ads are performing the best. It's all around data and testing. Okay, that's the whole point here. So for every $50 a day that you add, or that you're spending within one ad set, you have 5 ads, all the way up until 25 ads. So that'd be $250 a day. That's kind of like the max you want to keep adding creatives, and then you can just scale. Like, your spend doesn't matter at that point, or how many ads you have doesn't matter in that point. As in, like, not having more than 25. You could be spending $1,000 a day in an ad set. As long as you have 25 creatives, you're fine. Okay. Now, the last kind of thing, there's 2 things I want to go over, which is setting up the Facebook pixel. And then I want to set up how to show you how to actually set up the broad and interest ad sets. And then that's going to pretty much set up the entire beginner portion. And you'll have ads launched that are testing, and you are essentially, you're testing, and that's the most important part, because the way you want to launch your campaigns is it first starts with testing, then it starts with narrowing down to the winners, and you just cut all the ads that are not performing, and you put more spend on the ads that are performing to maximize the return. Okay. So that being said, let me quickly show you guys how to set up the Facebook pixel, which is what is going to be, if I go right here, this. Now, I used to hear this word Facebook pixel when I was starting out. I was like, what is this buzzword? What is a Facebook pixel? And essentially what this is we are sending people to a page that literally, like, Facebook doesn't own this page that we were just talking about, right? Like, we own this page. I own this page. It's in GoHighLevel. It's not in Facebook. So if someone books a call, how is Facebook going to know that someone booked a call? And because their algorithm needs data of a booked call and what person actually booked the call, so they can actually go out and go find more of those people with your ads, because they have figured out who's resonating with your ads. They want to go find more of those people, so then you make money, vice versa, you keep paying them. Okay, it's all like a, it's a distribution advertising thing. They own the platform, but they don't own our websites. So we have to install the piece of code behind our website that will track events, telling Facebook, yes, this person opted in as a scheduled call and a sales call. Get more of these people. So what you do is you head over to right here when you're in your business settings, go down to data sources and then data sets and pixels. All right. Click here in the top right, click add, and I'll just click name will be testing pixel. And then I'll just say April 17. Okay. Turn this off and you can just click create. All right. Doesn't matter the name you call this, just call it maybe your business name pixel or something, whatever, right? And it will create, and it will go right here, choose the ad account that you want to connect this to, select the ad account that obviously you just made. So I'm going to connect it to the one we've been kind of building stuff in as a demo. And then boom, it will say dataset created, go to events manager. All right, I've gotten really fast at this stuff, so I'm going to kind of speed run how to do this. So first thing, when you see this events manager here, you're going to click right here where it says gather website activity or browser activity, click set up meta pixel. All right, and then you're going to click manually add pixel. Then what you're going to do is it's going to give you this code right here. All right, you're going to copy this code and you're going to go over into GoHighLevel. So let me quickly do that. All right, so once you're in GoHighLevel, you're going to click onto the funnel you have made. You guys can just use the ones that I've given you. You're going to click edit, and then you're going to click on where it says tracking code in the top left. Okay, boom, you're going to paste that entire code right here, and then we're going to click save. Now, just so you guys understand what this is essentially the line item you want to look for we are now optimizing on line 12 for page view. So now every time someone clicks on the ad and they get to this page from the ad, Facebook will know, this person viewed the page. They clicked on it, they were interested. And you're going to click save in the top right, and then you're going to publish. All right, for this sake, I'm obviously just not going to, but you should make sure you save and publish. Now you're not done yet. Go to your thank you page and click edit, and then you are going to click on tracking code, okay? Now you're going to paste the same exact code, but for here, we don't want to optimize for page view, right? Just page view only, because if people got to this page right here, the only way they could have gotten to this page is by booking a call, because they get redirected to this page right after. So what we can do is we are going to copy line 12, paste it right here like so, and right here where it says page view, we're going to type in schedule, okay? And then you're going to click save. So now every single time somebody essentially gets to this page, Facebook now knows this person booked a call. And we're going to make sure our optimization, what we're really optimizing for inside of the ad set level, is schedule. So let me quickly show you guys how to do that. All right, so once you've copied this here and you've added it to your site, you're going to click continue, turn on matchmaking options, boom, click done, and then you are all done from there. Now, you're going to head back into the ads manager, go to your ad set level. I'm going to refresh because we just made this pixel, and it will show up right here if I click on data set, and then boom. April testing pixel April 17 is the one I did. It says inactive right now. It's going to say inactive potentially up to 48 hours. Don't worry about it. Click on this and we're going to type our conversion event in as schedule. All right. Now Facebook essentially knows it's going to say this because it doesn't have any events because we haven't started the ads yet. It's going to say this, and now Facebook knows we are optimizing it for every single person that schedules. Okay. Now, the last thing we want to set up inside of the basic section here is, if I go right here, how do you actually make more ads? Okay, so again, let's just go off the math of it. Let's spending $90 a day, and I want to just show you guys all three, broad, interest, and lookalike. Okay, so each ad set's going to spend $30 a day with these different targeting, and we're going to have, since we're spending $30 a day, we're going to have 3 ads under each. Okay, so $10 a day per ad, all the way up to $250 a day, and then essentially after that, like I said, you're good to just spend as much as you want with those amount of creatives. That's my rule of thumb. That's what I've been following in my agency. All you have to do to make more creatives is you click duplicate, turn this off, don't use the recommendations, click duplicate like so, boom, ad number 2, And then all you have to do is scroll down, take this, remove this media, and then just add another, your second ad. All right, the second image ad you made, and then you would do the same thing for image ad number 3. All right, and this goes same thing for video as well. All right, so it's the exact same process. You just remove and you cycle it out with your new creative. Okay, boom, like so. Now, if you wanted to just spend $50 a day and start getting appointments, and hopefully over time it books a lot of appointments fast, assuming your ads are good, you just make this $50 a day. Click publish in the bottom right. You're all done. All right. Now, if you want to set up interest and lookalike, what you do here is you duplicate the ad set. Okay. Click duplicate. Boom. And then you scroll all the way up to the top. Name this just right here. Interest. Like so. Interest ad set. Now what you're going to do is you're going to scroll all the way down here where it says show suggestions. And then you're going to go where it says detailed targeting. Okay. Now, you want to essentially type in whatever demographics, interests, behaviors that Facebook allows you to within your niche, okay? So for the simple fact, I use a tool called Manus. You guys can look them up. They're a tool. I'm sure Claude or ChatGPT could do the same thing, but just ask Manus or Claude or whatever. Say, please give me the 3 to 5 best interests to use in one interest stack ad set for a Facebook ad campaign targeting real estate agents or whatever your niche is, okay? You can do that from there. Now, let's just say, for example, I'm just going to do some simple ones. So real estate agent, okay? I want to target them. So real estate agent, salesperson, boom, job titles, okay? We're going to target all these people. And then I think it also gives me relevance. So real estate broker, let's say we want to hit those people. Realtor, boom, job titles. Let's just say real estate as simple, okay? Industry, boom, okay? These 3 interests right here, we can now see on the right how big our audience is. So our audience estimated size is 78 million to 92 million people. That's a lot of people, okay? Of course, Facebook, Manus, Claude, ChatGPT are going to give you better interest to use here. Completely up to you on how you want to use this here. But I recommend going no more than 5 interests inside of one interest ad set, because then it starts to get limiting to the point where your audience might get too small. And it's just not ideal. Don't look at the metrics on the right, by the way, of your estimated daily ad set results. It's almost never accurate. All right. So if it says you're going to get no leads, sometimes it says that, and it's like our best ad sets ever. All right. Now, if we want to make what's called a lookalike audience, okay, you essentially go here and you will remove all of the interest because we want interest. And lookalike is a lot more advanced. Okay. And this is something that kind of should be more so in the advanced option here. But that being said, I'm going to kind of reserve using this directly for people inside of my mastermind group, which will be shameless plug in the top link in the description below. This is our best performing ad set, okay? And here I'll give you guys some absolute game real quick. And this is going to tie into the advanced section too, okay? This is directly a screenshot of our ad account, okay? In the ad account in my agency. This is about, I think, a 15 or 20 day period. And I did an entire review for everyone in my mastermind group and kind of my mentorship group on how I actually allocated this money and what made the biggest return. So this is what it looks like after I spent $27,000 to book calls in my agency. Again, if this number scares you, you don't need to be spending this much. This is just because I'm at a stage where I spend a lot. Guess which got us the best results? You're probably thinking, oh, well, Carson, it's this ad set here. We're looking at 3 different ad sets. For context, I don't know if Fathom did that. For context, this right up here, this one was a broad ad set. This was an interest, okay? And then, this was a lookalike and this was an interest. So interest looks like it's getting the lowest cost per call. All right. I'm in the medical niche. So again, it looks very expensive, and it's because it is. But real estate is much, much lower. You're looking at like $30 to $50 cost per call. For every $50 you get Facebook, you get a sales call back. You guys get that? This lookalike audience had the highest cost per call. It spent $10,000 in like 15 days, 2 weeks, right? You're like, well, Carson, this must have been the worst performing campaign. I actually figured out this was the best performing campaign. Okay. We made the most money for every dollar spent from this here. And this sounds crazy. This is like, well, how is that possible? You spent way more to get a call with this one here. And the answer is through correct tracking, which I'm going to get through in the advanced section. Okay. But long story short, I'm going to keep the lookalike setup for more advanced people who are in my mentorship group. I've talked about it a little bit on this YouTube channel, but essentially what you do is, in very short, is I have a connection on someone on Upwork who scrapes lead lists. So for example, let's say you're in the real estate niche. that you can pay this person $100, $200 to scrape all the leads, all the real estate agents' contact info in the United States. All right, as many as they can find. So they're going to a huge list. You're going to upload this list into Facebook, and you're going to make what's called a lookalike audience based off of that list. Okay, and essentially you can target people inside of that custom audience. So what you do right here is you click here, create new, you click lookalike audience. And what you do is you create a new source, and you're going to create a custom audience. And then I do 0 to 1%. I create an audience, and then I make 0 to 2%. Okay, so I go for a 1% and a 1 to 2% audience, lookalike audience. I create it, and then I upload it in here. All right, that's as much game as I'm going to give you guys. It's the best performing ad set we have at the moment, and it makes the most amount of money per dollar spent. Even though it seems like it was the most expensive cost per call, it was performing the worst. I have correct tracking, and I actually figured out it was the opposite. It was the best performing. So that being said, if you want mentorship application, click down below. You'll find the top link in the description below directly to get mentored inside of my mastermind group directly from me for this stuff. All right. But that being said, essentially at this point, for most of you guys, you're probably just launching one broad ad set, okay, or one interest ad set. But if you notice, just for clear context, each of these have $30 a day limited them. So at this point, since we have this set on an ad set budget optimization, this spends $90 a day total. Okay. If I made this campaign budget right here and I clicked this and then I just set the budget here at $50 a day, it'll spread the $50 a day across all of these, but then it will give me unequal testing results, which is why I'm not a fan of CBO, right? Because it's going to give me inaccurate data. All right, so that being said, that is pretty much everything on the beginner side of things. And I'm going to quickly go as fast as I can through the advanced side of things because I want to show you guys how this actually works because it's extremely important, okay? Number one, ongoing management, okay? So how to track performance, time versus spend. So the way you want to track ad performance once you've launched your campaign is not by the amount of time, but the amount of spend. If you spend $10 a day for 10 days, you spend $100. But if you spend $100 in one day, you're going to get the exact same amount of data in one day as you did over 10 days if you spent $10 a day. So don't track ad performance based on time, track it based on spend. That's an extremely important thing I had to realize early on, all right? And don't cut things too early. Don't spend $20 and boom, you cut it. Look at your ideal cost per result, and this can take some time to figure out. Let's say your ideal cost per call is $50. Don't cut an ad unless it's reached 3x or above that number. So if your cost per call is $150 and you're aiming for $50, anything above $150, it reaches that, cut it, right? That's way out of KPI. But if you're within that, then it could rebound. I've seen ads rebound. So don't make too emotional decisions. Next, how to scale and lower ad spend. So I increase/decrease ad spend by 25 to 30% a day to avoid triggering the learning phase. So when you launch ads, it enters the learning phase, which is essentially Facebook trying to look at which audience pocket to throw your ad to. If you increase your ad spend by 50% in one day, it will sometimes just absolutely tank, fatigue, and it won't perform. So you want to increase/decrease ad spend by 25 to 30% a day. And of course, if you want to turn off an ad and it's not performing, just kill it. You don't have to decrease by 25, 30% a day. All right. Next, when to add VSL/friction within your sales process. So let's say on your site right here, you add a VSL right here, right under this. So you add a video sales letter, which is like a 5 to 10 minute video on why someone would opt into your service before they even book a call. So it's a sales video, all right? Just essentially selling them on the opportunity of working with you, okay? Don't do this, all right? And my option is don't do this. I actually duplicated this here. So it's the same exact thing, but I'll kind of explain it in words. Don't do this. Like you want to add friction when you see volume, but lower quality. Don't do it vice versa. If you have no quantity of leads coming through your funnel, don't increase friction, okay? Like you're going to just get no one through the funnel. So when you start getting a lot of appointments, but then your quality is really suffering, you add small little friction points, like a question on the calendar, for example, qualifying the revenue, okay? And then you can go a step further by maybe asking them to explain why they feel like they need help in their clinic or in their business. And then the next step further is maybe adding a VSL here. That's all friction. That's going to increase your cost per call to hopefully increase the quality along with it. Next is URL parameters. This is a cheat code, all right? So this is how actually I figured out that this ad set right here, okay, and this was just in the past couple weeks, performed the best. You would think this performs the absolute worst because it has the highest cost per call. That's not the case, all right? And the reason I could track this because we closed the most amount of deals per dollar spent right here with this one right here. The reason I can track this is because I can go into high level. I'll click on the contact of them opting in, and I can see this entire journey of when they opted in. And then what I can also do is I can see exactly what ad they came from. Okay, I can see a ad name. They came from image ad 12 in UTM medium. This was the ad set. Okay, and then this was the ad. Like, you can see the entire campaign, and the campaign was named my name, but you can see literally everything. Okay, because you can track exactly where the deal came from. This is where you can really, really get good with tracking sales data. A lot of people just look at their ad metrics from the ads manager. Normally this data is incorrect, to say the least. You can track exactly what ad they came from, and you can see what's actually making you money rather than what Facebook and what you assume is making you money. Don't do that. And the way you do that is you add this entire piece of kind of like, I don't want to say code, but text right here. If you go to all of your ads, you're going to add this at the bottom of all of your ads. When you click URL parameters right here, you're going to essentially right here, you're going to take this entire thing and you're going to throw that right here under all of your ads, and then it will now track in high level or whatever CRM you use. When you click on their journey, you can see exactly where they came from. Next, conversion API/CAPI setup. Okay, this is something that's advanced. This is something I'm going to keep again for more of my mentorship clients. Again, top link in the description below. But this is where essentially you set up a manual trigger process for when people book calls or whatever you're trying to qualify for. So let's say the people that are just booking your calls are trash quality. Like, the quality is just bad. You know, like, you're just like, man, I'm spending all this money on ads, but the quality is just bad. You can set up an automation inside of GoHighLevel through what's called the conversion API setup, to where now I have my setter, which is someone on my sales team. Every time they get on the phone with a good conversation, a good lead, that's actually what tracks back to Facebook. Not the automatic manual code that I showed you guys how to add. And again, I don't think this is applicable for most people that are not spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a day in spend. But essentially the way we have it set up is the pixel is only firing and getting triggered and getting lead data once my team puts a GoHighLevel tag that we just call pixel on them in high level. And then there's an automation that essentially shoots back to Facebook, say, hey, find more of these people. This person was a qualified lead. And then now that's how we track our data. All right, that's some like very, very high level game for y'all. Next, hammer them ad nurturing sequence. Okay, this is again something I'm going to keep a little bit low key, but what we have set up is when someone books a call with us, we have a whole separate campaign that spends $20 a day. Very little, $10 a day, $20 a day. It's pretty low. And there are 10 to 15 nurture/education style ads in there that is only set up to hit people that have booked a call with us in the last 7 days. And the frequency, which is this metric right here, you guys see frequency. This is like in the ads when you look at your metrics. This says as 2, 2, 2. What frequency means is how often are you hitting the same person with the same amount, the same ad. Okay. Our frequency on these ads are 5 to 10 plus. So the same people sees the same ad 5 to 10 times plus. All right. And what this actually does, which is crazy, is I have a campaign set up so people get rotated through all 10 to 15 of these ads, because it's only hitting people that have booked calls with me in the last 7 days. And the frequency is this high, and it just educates them before the call. Okay. Educates them before the call, and they get all of these different ads. And I set up a custom audience for every single video of nurturing that I have my closer film. He films all these because that's who they're going to be speaking to, where it excludes anyone that saw more than 3 seconds of one of these. So then what happens is it cycles through all of them. That assuming they watch more than 3 seconds of one of them, it'll go to the next, it'll go to the next, it'll go to the next. And it spends $10 a day. And there's only so many calls on the calendar, all right? So it'll essentially hit every single person and educate and nurture them before they're showing up to the call, all right? Shout out to a guy named Jeremy Haynes, saw that on YouTube and implemented. Amazing, amazing stuff if you want to increase quality. I don't think this makes sense unless you're spending over $200 a day though. Next thing, this is kind of the last thing, is for funnel congruency. Whatever is on your ad, okay, for example, whatever offer is on your ad, okay, 10 listings in 90 days, it needs to be the same on your funnel. Don't have funnel incongruency. Your cost per call and your everything will be so high, all right? Because if someone's clicking on your ad because of XYZ reason, you need to replicate that inside of the exact sales process and on the landing page, on the funnel. So make sure it's all congruent, it's all the same. But guys, that being said, that is the entire process, pretty much A to Z on paid ads in the masterclass inside of 2026 and how I book 5+ sales calls. It's way more than 5. Okay, I spend, as you see here, a lot of money. These are all $100 per call plus, and this was in like, I don't know, the past few weeks. This was like a I want to say a 15-day time frame of just like 26K. And this is just in one campaign. I have a lot of campaigns. And that's how we close a lot of specifically stem cell clinics on our service. That's the niche I work in. But this works. The same process works in pretty much any niche out there. But that being said, if you want to get mentored directly from me and learn this stuff at a lot higher level and some of the things that kind of just gatekeep on this channel, just because I keep it kind of exclusive, there'll be a top link in the description below where you can apply for my mentorship group, jump on a call with me, see if it's the right fit. If it is, great. You can learn from me directly and implement a lot of the things I'm showing you in here that I keep. It's a very high level game. I've spent a lot of money to learn this stuff, and a lot of friends of mine have taught me as well. So guys, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys inside the next one. Like, subscribe, and peace.